Janvalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Gauda Nitai, Gauda Nitai, Gauda Nitai, Jaya Gauda Nitai. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur, Haribo. Go Vrindavan. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Astottara Sata Shishimaj Srila Bhakti Vedanta Saraswati or Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitalita Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Astottara Sata Shishimaj Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshatarane. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastapreshu Abhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, the prayers of the personified Vedas, text 20. Let's see if we can figure out some kind of Svakrita Puresh Vamish Vabhir Antara Sangvaranang. Svakrita Puresh Vamish vabhir antara sangvaranang. Tava purushang vadant yakyala shakti dhritang sakritam. Iti nrigating vichtya kavayo nigama vapanam. Bhavata upasate grim abhavang bhuvi vishvasitaha. Svakrita puresh vamish vabhir antara sangvaranang. Tava purushang vadant yakyala shakti dhritam shakritam. Iti nrigating vichitya vachayo nigamava panang. Bhavata upasate nrigrim abhavang bhuvi shishvasitaha. I think we're by himself. Krita, created. Pureshu, in the bodies. Amishu, these. Abahi, not externally. Antara, or internally. Sangvaranam, whose factual envelopment. Tava, your. Purusham, living entity. Vedanti, the Vedas say. Akila, of all. Shakti, energies. Dhritaha, of the possessor. Angsha, as the expansion. Kritam, manifested. Iti, in this manner. Nri, of the living entity. Gatim, the status. Vivichya, ascertaining. Kavayaha, learned sages. Nigama, of the Vedas. Avapanam, the field in which all offerings are sown. Bhavitaha, your. Upasate, they worship. Angrim, the feet. Abhavam, which caused the cessation of material existence. Bhuvi, on the earth. Vishvasitaha, having developed faith. Translation and purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The individual living entity, while inhabiting the material bodies he has created for himself by his karma, actually remains uncovered by either gross or subtle matter. This is so because, as the Vedas describe, he is part and parcel of you, the possessor of all potencies. Having determined this to be the status of the living entity, learned sages become imbued with faith and worship your lotus feet, to which all Vedic sacrifices in this world are offered, and which are the source of liberation. So we're going to have fun and we're going to repeat it. The individual living entity I'm not hearing you. The individual living entity, while inhabiting the material bodies he has created for himself by his karma, actually remains uncovered by either gross or subtle matter. This is so because, as the Vedas describe, he is part and parcel of you, the possessor of all potencies. Having determined this to be the status of the living entity, learned sages become imbued with faith and worship your lotus feet, to which all Vedic sacrifices in this world are offered, and which are the source of liberation. Purport. Not only does the Supreme Lord remain totally uncontaminated when he resides within the material bodies of the conditioned souls, but even the infinitesimal jiva souls are never directly touched by the coverings of ignorance and lust they acquire by passing through repeated cycles of birth and death. Thus the Taittiriya Upanishad proclaims, Ya yash chayang purushe yash chasa vaditye sa ekaha. The soul of the embodied living being is one with him who stands within the sun. Similarly, the Chandogya Upanishad teaches Tattvamasi, you are non-different from that supreme truth. In this prayer, the personified Vedas refer to the finite enjoyer of material bodies, the jiva soul, as an expansion of the transcendental reservoir of all potencies, the Supreme Lord. The term Angshakritam, made as his portion, must be properly understood, however, in this context. The jiva is not created at any time, nor is he the same kind of expansion of the Lord as the omnipotent Vishnu Tattva expansions. The Supreme Soul is the proper object of all worship, and the subordinate jiva soul is meant to be his worshiper. The Supreme Lord enacts his pastimes by showing himself in innumerable aspects of his personality, whereas the jiva is forced to change bodies whenever he accumulates karmic reactions, whenever his accumulated karmic reactions so dictate. According to Sri Narada Pancharatra, Yat tata stang tu chid rupang swasang vedyad vinirgatam ranjitang guna ragena sajiva iti katayate. The marginal potency, who is spiritual by nature, who emanates from the self-cognizant Sangvit energy, and who becomes tainted by his attachment to the modes of material nature, is called the jiva. Although the jiva soul is also an expansion of Lord Krishna, he is distinguished from Krishna's independent Vishnu expansions by his constitutional position on the margin between spirit and matter. As the Mahabharaha Purana explains, Swang Shyash Chata Vibhinangsham Iti Dvedasa Ishyate Ankshano Yatu Sangmartyang Yat Swarupang Yatastiti Tad Eva Nanu Matropi Bedang Sang Shangsano Kvachit Vibhinangsho La Shakti Syat Kinchit Smartya Matrayuk. The Supreme Lord is known in two ways in terms of his plenary expansions and his separated expansions. Between the plenary expansions and their source of expansion, there's never any essential difference in terms of either their capacities. or capabilities, forms, or situations. The separated expansions, on the other hand, possess only minute potency, being endowed only to a small extent with the Lord's powers. The conditioned soul in this world appears as if covered by matter, internally as well as externally. Externally, gross matter surrounds him in the forms of his body and environment, while internally desire and aversion impinge upon his consciousness. But from the transcendental perspective of realized sages, both kinds of material covering are insubstantial. Biologically, eliminating all material identities, which are misconceptions based on the soul's gross and subtle coverings, a thoughtful person can determine that the soul is nothing material. Rather, he is a pure spark of divine spirit, a servant of the Supreme Godhead. Understanding this, one should worship the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. Such worship is the fully blossomed flower of the tree of Vedic rituals. One's realization of the splendor of the Lord's lotus feet, gradually nourished by the offering of Vedic sacrifices, automatically bears the fruits of liberation from material existence and irrevocable faith in the Lord's mercy. One can accomplish all this while still living in the material world. As Lord Krishna states in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Uttara 47, Mathura Mandale Yastu Jambudvipe Stito Tasva Yor Yacheta Pratimang Prati Same Pariyataro Bhuvi. One who worships me in my deity form while living in the district of Mathura, or indeed anywhere in Jambudvip, becomes most dear to me in this world. Srila Sridhar Swami prays, Tvad Angshasya Mamekshana Tvamaya Krita Bandhanam Tvad Angri Sevang Adishya Parananda Nivarataya. My Lord, please free me, your partial expansion, from the bondage created by your Maya. Please do this, O abode of supreme bliss, by directing me to the service of your feet. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such a powerful verse made me sweat. So we're hearing the last several days, these are prayers by the personified Vedas, glorifying the Lord. His powerful expansion is Karanodakshai Vishnu. And from Karanodakshai Vishnu, the Mahavishnu lying in the causal ocean, comes Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Then he expands himself from Garbhodakshai Vishnu to Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So the Lord, He's providing a facility in this material world for the conditioned living beings who want to try to be the enjoyers, the Purusha. We're actually all Prakriti. We're all enjoyed by Krishna, just like a father has his children, and sometimes the children become rebellious. Not sometimes, most of the time. And the children go away, but the father is always thinking, only if they would come back home, they would be so much better off. Due to immaturity and childish desires, they wanted to go and experience the world. So somehow, for some causeless reason, we've left the spiritual world and come to this material world. And as a result of our various desires, Krishna's, due to his Shakti and his potency, Krishna glances at Mother Nature, the Mahatattva, and by his glance, all of us from the spiritual world are conveniently put in the material world. It's our material playground. And not only that, but you get a choice of 8,400,000 different species of life. You see? Sometimes you be a god and enjoy heavenly happiness. Although a long duration of life is there, ultimately, even Lord Brahma has to leave that form. So we see sometimes at nighttime around the light, many insects are buzzing around. In the morning, they're all lying dead on the ground. In our lifetime, depends on what yuga you're living in. We're in Kali Yuga, so we approximately 100 years. But as Kali Yuga progresses, people are leaving this mortal covering. It says that we become enwrapped and enveloped within the material nature, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Just like a potter, he takes the clay and he makes various cups and plates and pitchers, and they're useful. You can put water in the pitcher, but then when it's broken, it goes back to the earth. So, as we've heard, we're made of dust and earth and water and fire. And as the body is dismantled, without the soul, without the spirit soul within the body is no longer, it's just a lump of flesh. We've seen, you can see. In Vrindavan, in one sense, we're fortunate to go to the crematorium and see that the body is simply to be cast. And we heard about the 5 devotees who were in the Brahmaputra thinking that it's okay, we can cross, but then the waves just took them. And then life is finished. That life. But again, we're packed into the womb of our next mother according to our desires and our activities, karmana daiva netrena. All of us have multitude of desires. And Krishna, he's very kind. Not only does he create all the universes from the pores of his body. Imagine Mahavishnu. You've seen pictures of how unlimited thousands, millions of universes are emanating from his breathing. He's exhaling, so all the universes coming out, and then within each and every universe, a Brahma is created, and Brahma is empowered to create all the worlds. You see all the planets floating in space. This gravitation, so-called scientific speculation, is Krishna's power. We heard yesterday, was it Tejo 16,000 miles per second? The sun is moving at great velocity, great speed. All the planets are rotating, and every planet is actually complete. Just imagine how the sun is rising early in the morning, and through its brilliant rays is producing vegetative growth, is giving power. Prabhupada said, if you're sick, get some sunshine. The sunshine is healing, very healing. And then the moonshine, nourishing all the fruits and flowers and vegetables. Without the sun, everything withers away, isn't it? And without the moonshine, I think that it enhances the taste. Isn't it? Krishna's pretty creative. Not only are the flowers beautiful and the variety of vegetables, but the taste, completely sour, lemon, then orange, a little sour and sweet, and then this one and that one. So many varieties. Why? Because we're living entities, and Krishna has unlimited desires. Even Krishna, they say, can't understand himself, but then he can, because his potencies are increasing all the time. It's like, wow, Krishna, you're so potent and so powerful. Yes, and now it's more powerful. Then his intelligence is unlimited as well. So we can't try to judge or consider Krishna like an ordinary living being. We have small qualities of Krishna. They say Krishna's like the big fire, we're like the little spark. And sometimes that little spark, if it falls away from the fire, on wet ground, it becomes totally covered. We completely forget about our spiritual existence, and we're simply driven by the modes of nature. You know, we have certain desires, so you're given a certain vehicle, and that the unbridled senses and the mind. So the intelligence is allowing the mind and senses to venture in this world to try to find happiness and enjoyment. Ultimately, there's no happiness and there's no real enjoyment in this world. There's a reflection. You know, we have family, we have children. I'm really smart. I have a big bank balance. You know, I have the coolest car in the neighborhood, and all my clothes are really sharp, and my glasses cost at least thousands of dollars. Or something. Well, these are cheap ones, really. But we're all thinking how to become the enjoyer, the Purusha, and everything ultimately, the dream of happiness. Although one is very vibrant with youth, and he thinks he can do anything. He can swim across the Brahmaputra, or he can climb the Mount Everest. He can do anything, because Krishna has that youthful energy and that beauty, that incredible beauty that Krishna maintains. So we see, like we have some puppies in our neighborhood, and they're so cute and they're so loving, isn't it? Everyone's attracted to the youthful and innocence of youth. But as we get older and people get all, you know, gray and grumpy, isn't it? Grumpy old man, right? As we get older, we get irritable very easily, and unless things are the way we want them, we get really agitated. But it's a rare opportunity, because of all the millions and billions of universes and all the living entities that are wandering from higher planets to lower planets, Brahmanda, Brahmite, Kono, Bhagyavan, Jeev, Guru, Krishna, Prasade, Pai, Bhakti, Lata, Bij. Krishna is giving blessings, and he's coming personally to teach us Bhagavad-Gita. His words are non-different than Krishna. So we worship the Bhagavad-Gita, we worship Srimad Bhagavatam, because by hearing the words of Krishna and Krishna's devotees, this is kirtan, this is devotional service. And Krishna, he's sending his representatives. In our time, we know different incarnations of the Lord appeared. Lord Nrsingadev to protect Prahlad Maharaj. Lord Vamanadev to get the kingdom back to the demigods from the demons, and also bless Bali Maharaj. Lord Jesus Christ came to teach people how to live in under religious principles. So all the rituals and all the principles, the Vedic principles, they are there, and sacrifices are there so that people can live according to the scripture and gain, you know, economic development. People pray to the gods, give me health, give me strength, give me wealth. And then when they realize that there's really no satisfaction in the unlimited billions of dollars or gold, or as much land that you may possess, and all the riches, all these kings, we hear how they renounced their kingdom. Parikshit Maharaj was actually had a very powerful, most powerful, the emperor of the world, and had jewelry and a treasure, inexhaustible treasury, and lovely family, and many admirers and worshipers. But upon the notice from Krishna, we all have a notice that soon you're leaving that body. And if we don't take the notice from Krishna that you can die at any time. Well, as Yamaraj and Yudhishthira were discussing what is the most amazing thing in this world, and that Hani Bhutani, that people are dying at every moment, but we're thinking, yes, people are dying, but not me, not now. I still have time. I want to enjoy, and then when I get older and not able to enjoy, then I can surrender to Krishna. But we need to surrender to Krishna like Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj. Now that we have an opportunity to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Vyasadeva, well, the whole story was that Narada Muni went to Narayan Rishi, which Krishna himself, so Krishna personally spoke the absolute truth to Narada Muni, and the same questions as to how with, Atashi Krishna Navavid Ayam Indriyai Seva Mukhe Jivada Swayameva Spuratida. With our blunt material senses, we cannot understand what is the transcendence, what is the absolute truth. So they were questioning how we can understand God, the spiritual world, and transcendence with our mundane mind and senses. How is it possible? It's a lot of discussion, great depth of that discussion. Actually, I think if you read in Krishna book in particular, the prayers of the personified Vedas, it takes about 3 hours. you gotta be into it. A lot of the analogies and examples are given because nowadays people want to create something new, a new form of yoga. I remember we were in Washington, D.C., 1976, and my friend, he was really into TM, Transcendental Meditation, so he came to visit. And we were there, and Prabhupada was speaking about the potency of bhakti and how powerful it is. And by chanting the Maha Mantra, and by simply applying this bhakti, that you can, it's like going in an elevator and going to the 100th floor immediately. It's a very, so he was questioning, he said, oh, but this is a new thing. We have these special mantras, 15 minutes a day. You chant this mantra, and you can achieve the, perfection, which they have no idea what is perfection. But Prabhupada was explaining that this science of Krishna consciousness is spoken by the Supreme Lord, and Krishna didn't create some new philosophy for Arjuna. He said, Evang parampara praptang imang rajarshayo vidu. This science is coming down. I spoke this to the sun god millions of years ago. I spoke the science of the self-realization to the sun god. And now, because it's been lost, but Arjuna said, well, why are you telling me? Bhaktosi me sakachiti. You're my devotee. You're my friend. So we're already friends and devotees of Krishna, but we've forgotten that. And the process of bhakti is to awaken or uncover the contamination of wanting to be the enjoyer of this world. That's the basic disease. Everyone wants to be number one and become an enjoyer. And we're thinking, we heard a question yesterday, but unless one is free of sinful activity, then how can I take up the process of bhakti? You have to be clear and clean. Vyavasayatmika buddhi rekeha huranandana. You have to be, fixed in determination. Yeshang tvandagatang papam jananang punya karmanang. That these are all the philosophy that is being presented, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, whatever condition you are in, you just take up the process of bhakti. I gave that verse, akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purushang param. Everyone has material desires. In the material world, everyone is desiring more and more wealth and sex. They want to have enjoyment. And this is the idea that if I'm wealthy and I have a lot of facility to enjoy, then I'll be happy. But there's no happiness. It's all taken away. And people become very morose when the government, all of a sudden, there's a war, isn't it? People are living peacefully, and all of a sudden everything is destroyed. My house is destroyed, the schools are destroyed, the hospitals are destroyed, the people are destroyed, no place to live, no food. So, sometimes you're in the heavenly planets, sometimes you're in the hellish planets. So the formula, the success formula is to surrender to Krishna. Sarva dharma parityajya mamekang sharanang vrajahang tvang sarvapapebhyo moksha ishami masuchaha. I'll free you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Just give up all your ideas, all so-called concocted religion and concocted ideas that this will make me happy, that will make me happy. And so people are madly running after sense gratification, like a donkey chasing the carrot, never going to reach that, or going in the desert looking for happiness. There's no happiness. We're looking for an ocean to quench our thirst, but all you get is a little drop. in the heat of the sun in the desert is not going to satisfy. So we're very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada was instructed by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was called for by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Advaita Acharya called for Krishna to personally come. So Krishna came personally. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda. In Shraddha, we need faith. Yesterday we were talking about some pretty incredible numbers, wasn't it, Tej? How many, Ambarish Maharaj had how many cows he gave away? Huh? Huh? Only 10 million? No, it's more than that. Anyway, and they all had gold and silver, and this is something incredible. Srimad Bhagavatam has such beautiful philosophy and very clear, very like a transparent, clean water. You can see very clearly. It makes great sense. Then you hear some really incredible stories that sometimes test our faith. How's that possible? Because we're like a frog in a little well, and we have no experience beyond our well. So when somebody tries to describe the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean, and the little frog says, well, is it 10 times the size of my well? Okay, maybe 20 times the size of my well. No conception. So Krishna is great, very powerful, the most powerful being. He created the spiritual world, the material world. Matter of fact, we've always existed. Krishna's always existing. We've always existed. There was never a time when we did not exist. And somehow we're entrapped in a time warp, thinking that this body and this life is everything. My life is everything. Like the bodily designation was the first thing that Krishna was trying to explain to Arjuna. Just like if you have a university degree, say you're an MBA or a PhD, that's not you, it's just a designation. Prior to you going to school, you didn't have that PhD or MBA, and after you're dead, it'll be gone. You'll be a little baby crying, wah, wah, and again going back to school because you're in complete ignorance. Actually, the material world is full of darkness and ignorance. And the real education is not what they're offering in the schools and the universities. Basically, they're teaching how one can get a livelihood for what? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The animals are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So we're working really hard so we can eat on the beautiful silver plates. Make sure you get the value of those silver and gold plates, okay? And someone's eating on a leaf plate. The taste is the same. But the misidentification of wanting to be happy and following those cheaters. There's one person, Prabhupada, one devotee brought this one, in America, one Indian professor of Hinduism. And Prabhupada asked him, well, what is Hinduism? And he said, I really don't know. And Prabhupada asked, he said, Pradyumna, what do we call those people who are teaching but don't know what they're teaching? He said, cheater, Prabhupada. Oh, he's a cheater. Oh, he got so angry. People are cheaters if they don't give you knowledge, a proper understanding that you're eternal spirit soul. You're not the body. And human life is meant for awakening our love for God. And the process is given by God himself. Isn't it? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Artanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. That we're hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, serving the lotus feet, offering prayers, surrendering completely to the Lord. But there's a regiment. Anything you want to accomplish in this world, you need to be disciplined and regimented. Whether you want to become a musician or a great dancer on stage, or, even you can see all the so-called successful people in this world, they're very determined, very regulated to get up early, and they have enthusiasm, one-pointed determination, vyavasayatmaka buddhi reke hakurunandana. Because if you just, today I don't feel like it, or, I'm spaced out, but that happens sometimes. But the important thing is that Srila Prabhupada, under the potency of the Guru Parampara and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's order, gave us the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, because without sadhu sangha, satang prasangang mamevirya sangvado, that this association with devotees in regular hearing of the Bhagavatam together has a special potency. One can say, well, I read on my own, I'm okay. That's nice and it's good. But this, by following the order of the spiritual master, that you rise early in the morning, at least by 4 o'clock, right? What time is our RT? Oh yeah, 4:10, 4:30. So by seeing the deities, as Prabhupada said, even a child who doesn't understand philosophy or doesn't know religious principles, but just if he comes and sees the deities, hears the chanting of the holy name, takes some prasadam, he's engaged in bhakti. And there's no loss or diminution, wasn't it? No, what was that verse? Neha bikramo nashosti pratyavaya na vidyate swapamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It's like if you put in, a couple $100 in the bank and you leave it there, as long as it has interest, not in America, but at least it makes some interest, and the money increases. So this bhakti of hearing about Krishna, seeing the deity, the beauty of the deity, taking prasad, there's never any loss. And one is protected from the most dangerous type of fear. That's the cycle of birth and death. Is it janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, doshanu, darshanam? Everyone's taking birth, growing, dwindling, and dying. And this is a disaster. This is disgustingly horrible that we've left our spiritual relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world to want to be a separate enjoyer. And with logic and reason and intelligence, we can't even come to close to understanding why we would do that. But somehow, because of our minute independence, and Krishna's also, you see, he plays like a little bit of a rascal, isn't it? He steals and he's pinching the babies and creating commotion. So we all have that frivolous rascal nature. But now we should take up seriously Krishna's offer by very kindly giving. I mean, who would think that the Bhagavatam would be translated into English and readily available, and that every day I can come and hear the message of Narayana Rishi, Narada Muni, Shukadeva Goswami, and Parikshit Maharaj, and all the great sages and saints. They were eager. They were very eager to hear. So that eagerness, that utsahan nishchayat taryat tat karma pravartana. We need enthusiasm, determination, and patience. Sometimes we become impatient. We want what we want now, But sometimes Krishna's testing also to see if we're actually have faith that He's the doer of everything. Good times, bad times, friends and enemies, everything is coming from Krishna. We may think, oh, he did this, or, he's a good guy, bad guy, look at. And this is what they were trying to teach Prahlad Maharaj, but Prahlad Maharaj was not interested. He simply wanted to, out of love and compassion, that's one of the symptoms of a devotee, that he's very tolerant, he's merciful, he's kind to all living beings, because this is Krishna's nature. Krishna is the enjoyer, Bhoktarang Jagatapasang Savaloka Maheshwaram. All sacrifices, everything in existence is for his pleasure. But also he's Suhridang Sav, he's a friend of all living beings. So we have to see, we're thinking they're not just karmis or materialists. Every living being, from the small ant, the little creatures, the plants, all aquatic, everything is a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And when that covering is gone, he's Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal, full of bliss, full of knowledge. And this is the mood of the 6 Goswamis. They were studying all the revealed scriptures for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness for the benefit of the suffering humanity. And that mood of feeling compassion and feeling an urgency that, yes, Prabhupada wants that we distribute these books for the purpose of helping people understand how to get free from suffering and the entrapment of birth and death. So we do that. I know many devotees are in the airports, railway stations, in the, wherever festivals are, on the street corners, door to door, store to store. They would take that responsibility of carrying the books with them and just really in a happy mood. If you're actually understanding that you're giving the greatest gift, that you're not thinking that, oh, I'm going to ask for some. Say, no, we don't sell them. We just take a donation to help to print the book so others can also benefit by you. You're a magnanimous person, aren't you? Thank you. So, Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jagnai Sankirtan Praya Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. So Lord Chaitanya, he is established in the religion for this age, and that's the congregational chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The essence of homeopathic, Ayurvedic, all medicine is contained within the Maha Mantra. And by chanting the Maha Mantra, trying to hear it with love and devotion, praying to Krishna that somehow I've fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of suffering and engage me as one of your servants. Meaning serving my spiritual master, serving the guru, serving the devotees. Because das anudas means that we see, especially those who are taking up the process of Krishna consciousness, that they're respectable and they're very honorable because Krishna is happy. Krishna is happy to see that devotees are chanting the holy name and endeavoring to help others who are in that suffering condition. So we have more. There's so much to be heard, and maybe we don't understand the philosophical intricacies of impersonalism and voidism, and many people have different ideas of the philosophical religious presentation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Srimad Bhagavatam, Amala Purana, the topmost literature, as the incarnation of the Lord to give light where there's darkness. And Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of nectarine pastimes, rasa, everyone's looking for relationship, rasa, relishable, So we can actually have that experience, that higher taste. The sages, their hair was standing on end out of excitement to hear about Krishna, Krishna's activities, and the process of bhakti, devotional service. Yeah. So I better give a little time for questions, comments. Any questions, comments? Tej, thank you. We were in Miami together many years ago. We used to hide out in the cabin, listen to Prabhupada lectures together. He's a great cook.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Is it on?
Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were saying about the eagerness, and that's the price to pay for the eagerness. But that one verse, it says, you can execute pious activities for millions of births, but you still can't get that eagerness. So how do we get the eagerness? How do we get the eagerness?
Even after millions of births.
Yeah.
The eagerness that's required, the lolium, the intense desire to have it, it may not be present right now, but as you mentioned yesterday, you keep chanting Krishna's holy name, and you stay in the association of devotees, follow the order of the guru and hear the Bhagavatam, and then eagerness awakens. It awakens. It's right now, because we're not seriously hearing, read it out loud, hear it hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Sanatana Goswami gave up all his ministry work to do what? To hear Bhagavatam all day long in the association of brahmanas and spiritually advanced personalities. And Haridas Thakur just chanting with no hesitation, just fully absorbed. So we don't have that enthusiasm or lolium, but it's like if you have a diamond, it's dirty, you think, well, you have to polish it. You polish it and it becomes brilliant. So we have this eternality, knowledge and bliss, Sat Chidananda, we have that, but it's covered over. And the Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the hearing and chanting, will awaken that love or the enthusiasm. Mataji? Okay, Prabhuji, Mataji, ladies first, then Prabhuji. Got to do things right here in Vrindavan, you know, we sometimes make mistakes. Right? Got to do it right.
I can't really see Prabhu there. Hare Krishna, Pancha Prabhu, thank you. So you had quoted Akamo Sarvakamo Va, wherever you are, perform bhakti. And my understanding is that it eventually is supposed to lead us to Ahetuki, Apratihata, the pure form of bhakti. So if that is really not happening as we're performing bhakti, or as we're performing it, but we don't have that clear goal in our head, so what is the method? What is the way out? How do we really get there?
Good question, thank you. You know, previously they would perform sacrifice, and the animal sacrifice would go into the fire and come out with a new body. But unfortunately, there are no qualified brahmanas, and they can't chant the mantras properly, so it's forbidden. So although we're in Kali Yuga and we're full of material desires, and we're trying to apply the process of bhakti, but we're not getting the result. So we have to reflect on our own behavior and mentality. Generally it's because of offenses to inattentive hearing and chanting, offenses towards others, you know, that we really genuinely have to try to develop the 26 godly qualities of a pure devotee. Not that we're going to do that immediately, but as we keep practicing bhakti, if the result is not coming, then you associate with those devotees who are steady in their service. And we have to see that maybe there's some discrepancy, or I'm not steady in rising early, bathing, seeing the deities with appreciation, or hearing attentively or chanting attentively. The mind is always wandering. These things may be there, but if we continue practicing, Arjuna complained to Krishna that the mind is more difficult to control than the raging wind. How is it possible? With constant practice and detachment. So every day you're hearing something and you're learning something new. And the association of devotees, keep practicing chanting, hearing, and then by Krishna's grace and Guru's mercy, Krishna can give the taste immediately, you see. Krishna's testing us. He's testing whether we have patience or we have this determination. So we need to apply ourselves. Narayan Rishi is performing since the time of creation unlimited austerities and penances. You think, why the Lord has to perform austerities and penances? To show us, and Lord Brahma performed great austerities, that we need to perform some austerities by trying to control the mind and senses and following rules and regulations and living in the association of so many people of mixed cultures. It's not easy, but we're doing it. And if we do it with attention, with a mood of service, then we'll get a taste. Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a nice class. Please correct me and please enlighten all of us. I have two related questions. The one is that Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
And the one is that we discussed about, you said, the service to the Lord and the Vaishnavas. So how do we get the real service attitude? And we see that we do service, and this is related to the first question, that we do service, and we do service in the mode of passion, and Krishna also says in Bhagavad-Gita that sometimes we are in passion, sometimes in ignorance. But in my case, like somebody can also relate that most of the times we are in passion, and most of the time more than in ignorance. So bhakti and devotion is like starts from goodness, and from that we have to transcend that. So how do we come at least to the level of goodness? This is the second question, and then transcend to the Shuddha Sattva Guna.
Yeah, goodness is a good point to get started at, but actually we're in Shuddha Bhakta, that we're actually it's beyond goodness, that the process of bhakti is above the three modes of material nature. We may not feel the mood in a proper service attitude, but as we hear more, again, similar to the question, and chant more in the association of devotees, and you see that the way to advance is by actually serving others and by having that service attitude. And the more we hear about, if I can serve other devotees, then Krishna is pleased by this. He'll give me that deeper realization I'm looking for, like that. So we may not feel 100% enthused about rendering the service, but still we do it with faith that I'm following the order of my spiritual master, and by having the service attitude, good results will come, and they will come. And this is the process, the bhakti process, that actually hearing, chanting, following the order of spiritual master, and serving the Vaishnavas. Because without serving the Vaishnavas, that nobody's really making any advancement. We heard yesterday that Tandera Vaishnava Seva, that we need to serve the Vaishnavas, serve the devotees. And that's the best way of serving humanity too, prasad distribution, the chanting of the holy name, the hearing the holy name, book distribution. So we actually have the magic formula that can transform a miserable world into a spiritual atmosphere, that people can actually have some hope, some light, that there's something more than the suffering of materialistic life. And the devotees, the more you see and appreciate how devotees who are taking up the process are advancing in spiritual life, then we also want to come to that platform. So continue doing service and be happy. Yes, Prita Prabhu.
And it is interesting that Srila Vyasadeva, who is an incarnation of Krishna, he described all the Vedic scriptures, so many different things in the Vedas, whatever you can think of. And he said, when Narada came, Narada Muni said, I still feel undone. What is the problem? I've done all this, I've decided all the Vedas, and still I feel undone. And then Narada says, one point is missing. You have not heard, and broadcast the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the essence of the discussion. That even Narada Muni, Vyasadeva, had this problem that he felt unsatisfied, he felt undone, even though he was the knowledge of the knowledge of the Vedas. So the Krishna Katha, hearing about Krishna's pastime, is so important. Bhagavatam alone, which is just Krishna Katha, can save a person from anything in the material world. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Devotees take great pleasure in chanting the holy name of Krishna and glorifying Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.